Shawnee Mission joins a worldwide movement to get students comfortable with computer programming. Elementary students learn broadcasting and technology at a new after-school academy. An author and Shawnee Mission graduate returns to her middle school to inspire creativity in some young writers. And we'll visit a museum where the statues come to life. It's all ahead on this episode of Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. Welcome to Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. I'm your host, Leanne Neal. Students across the district are learning the basics of computer programming in a fun, interactive way.
So instead of having to put walk, 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 what could we do?
These kindergartners at Shawnee Elementary are taking part in a global movement called Hour of Code that encourages students to play games that teach computer coding skills.
All right, let's try it.
The purpose behind the Hour of Code is to inspire kids to want to go into computer programming, do things more than just play on app games, but to actually learn how to make the pieces in their games move and how the people that developed the apps actually did it themselves.
With their first task accomplished, Drew's students move on to the next challenge.
Why is he going to jump 3 times?
Because there's 3 thimbles.
Because there's 3 thimbles. Those silver things are called thimbles.
With the coding complete, it's time to test it out.
Yes! No!
Of course, like any experiment, it doesn't always go as planned, so it's back to the drawing board.
The kids are so excited. They see it as a game, but really they don't realize that they're using their mind in different ways. It's including problem solving, and it's including critical thinking, and so they're really excited and completely zoned in to making it work.
And I'm hoping that as they get older in elementary, it will inspire them to continue it when they get into middle school and high school and want to take those computer science classes.
We're going to kind of kick it up a little level of complexity now, because I think you're ready.
At Westwood View Elementary, Brian Watson's 6th graders are moving beyond the basics.
We started out simple because we're doing a week of code, not an hour of code. As we work our way through the rest of this week, we're going to go into more and more complicated, more rich experiences of, with more of the common language and common things that they might see in the world of computer programming and so forth.
Pay attention to what Cam has in terms of his instructions. See, so he's instructed it to go over 5 places, drop it off, and then come back and get it. And then it drops it off.
Well, today we're basically programming like little robots and puffballs and stuff like that to move around and get to where they need to be.
So why expand the Hour of Code into a week of code?
I think the principal, Susan Knight, saw it as a great opportunity for students for preparing them for the future. There's going to be millions of jobs available, and it gives them the opportunity to learn and see what they could potentially do for their career.
It's really good to know how to code because when you get older, you're going to probably work in a job where you need to learn how to code a computer. You do something with a computer, and it's really good just to learn the basics of how coding works.
Well, I've learned that you really need to focus and work hard and be determined because sometimes it gets tough when you're doing it. And so if you want to end up coding when you're older, you need to be pretty determined.
The thing that they are realizing is that this is a collaborative effort. Solving problems, being an engineer, being a scientist, being a computer programmer, you don't work by yourself, you work with others. And so solving problems, whether it's through computer code or some other engineering method, is a team effort. And building that community, building that ability to share and collaborate and solve the problems together is obviously a lifelong skill and something that they'll use this year, next year, and well into the future.
Well, I put the program 2 there because after that it will go to the program, go to the second line of the program.
For some students, it's a discovery that computer coding doesn't have to be scary. But even if they don't take to it, Watson says there is still value in the process.
I think that the kids who don't get super turned on by the computer programming are also going to be excited by the problem solving and just that ability to overcome and use tenaciousness and persistence to try to figure out how to work it. Again, that's a great skill we want to instill in our kids.
It's a lot of fun. You get to mess around with your friends on it and have a great time.
Code.org estimates that 71 million people took part in its second annual Hour of Code. At another elementary school, computer coding and making movies are just two of the activities encouraging students to extend their school day. We'll take you to the academy when Spotlight on Shawnee Mission continues.
Hi, I'm Jasmine.
I'm Kirsten.
We go to Brookridge Elementary.
We read the book Freaky Fast Frankie Joe by Latricia Clifton and would like to tell you a bit about it.
In the book, Frankie Joe's mother goes to jail in Texas. He has to go live with his father, who he never met. There he meets his 4 younger stepbrothers and stepmother.
Frankie Joe's supposed to be in 6th grade, but he gets moved to 5th grade because of his lack of schooling. Frankie Joe's stepbrother, who is also in 5th grade, is mean to Frankie Joe and calls him names like Freaky, Slow, Frankie Joe. So Frankie Joe decides to start his own delivery service to get money to bike 1,400 miles back to Texas. Meanwhile, his grades are getting a lot better.
Frankie Joe's mother comes to see him with a new boyfriend. She tells him she is going to leave him there. He gets really depressed and won't get out of bed or eat for days. This is the turning point in the book. Will he ever get over his depression? Will he ever get used to this new life?
As time goes by, Frankie Joe starts to think about Texas and the Lone Star Trailer Park. But you have to read the book to see if he decides to go back to Texas in the trailer park or stay in his new home with his new family.
We rate this book 4 out of 5 stars for the cool dialogue and amazing text.
But some parts were shaky and not very good. Read it!
Welcome back. Some students at Broken Arrow Elementary are logging a few extra hours at school each week, but they don't mind. In fact, as you'll see, they're actually having a whole lot of fun. Action. These students are trying their hand at movie making. It's one of the offerings in Broken Arrow's new after-school program called Trailblazer Academy.
Cut.
Right now we have 2 clubs meeting, and that's Technology Club and Broadcasting Club. But we'll expand that to Newspaper Club and also Leadership, and then we'll have some tutoring going on as well in the future.
Okay, now Sophia, you're going to say take 2.
They're working on a video for the PTA to advertise some things that PTA is doing, and they're working on a video for us, for me really, on an upcoming assembly. So they're working on a video to talk about respect and help the students know exactly what that looks like at Broken Arrow Elementary.
We do something the wrong way, and then we do it the right way to show the kids how to do it the correct way. So we're trying to teach them to not do it the wrong way.
Okay, let's move to the next scene now.
Okay, let's finish.
Take your places, everyone.
It's pretty fun. I like doing it. It's like you get to be your own little director. You can like say, action, take 14.
It makes me feel like I'm, really making a difference, for the school. I really hope the other students will enjoy our movie and think about buying some cookie dough and going to the pancake dinner.
While the Broadcasting Club continues its movie making, the Technology Club is working on learning the basics of computer coding.
At first it may seem pretty difficult, but when you get more used to it, it becomes simple and you can make games, apps. With programming, you can make about anything or do anything.
So far, this is my first day and I find it very fun. I've always been into that technology thing. It's always been usually boys and men in like technology stuff, but I feel like that should change for a while.
Our goal is to help kids find their voice, which means helping them feel and be confident and competent.
That one wasn't that bad. Brewer says the district's digital technology initiative makes it possible for these students to accomplish so much more.
All the kids have iPads, so it really opens up opportunities for them to research and to produce, really connects them to the world.
I just like technology around me. I really like it to be in my school. It's really nice to have that now.
I think they enjoy it. You'll have to ask them, but I think they really do. Every time I talk about Trailblazer Academy, they get very excited, and I have many more students that want to join, and as soon as we, we're starting small and we're going to grow this program, I think we're going to have a lot of participation, and the parents have responded well also.
The kids love the idea. They love coming after school and learning, and it's very interactive with the kids. The kids come up with the ideas, and we are just here to simply help guide them along the process.
And we are hopefully going to get more kids by the end of the year, and then we'll start it again next year. I like it a lot. Every time Mr. Brewer talks about it, I pretty get excited, and I'm glad to get new friends and students involved in it.
Brewer says community, parent, and staff support is what makes Trailblazer Academy possible, but he credits the students with its success.
The kids are what makes it happen, so they're hard workers, and they just rock and roll as you just let them go, and they really produce more than we could ever expect.
At Shawnee Mission West, being innovative, approachable, and positive adds up to a winning combination for a math teacher recently honored for her excellence.
All right, at this time I would like to introduce Melissa Reed from Perceptive Software.
Thank you all for letting us take a few moments out of your meeting today and kind of hijack it for a quick second. On behalf of Perceptive Software and the University of Kansas School of Engineering, we want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to present our January 2015 Educating Excellence Award. We're here at Shawnee Mission West High School today to recognize a teacher who has made an impact in the lives of her students and has been commended by her peers for both the impact she's had on students and the contribution she's made here at Shawnee Mission West. It is my pleasure to present this month's Educating Excellence Award to Mrs. Laura Brogdon.
I do try hard in everything that I do, and I always have, and I've never been recognized like this before, so it's really nice and to have people around me cheering and calling my name and looking out at my staff and trying to hold back tears of excitement and joy all at the same time. It was just kind of a total rush, but really fun. It really feels great, and there's so many teachers that do so many wonderful things every day, so I'm just one of many that would deserve this kind of an award, but it feels amazing to get it and to hear that parents, were the ones that nominated me.
All right, and just quickly, I would like to take a moment and read some statements from a few of the individuals who nominated Mrs. Brogdon. Laura shows energy and enthusiasm for her subject matter, geometry. She uses the flipped classroom concept where students watch the lessons online at home. Then the next day in class, they do their homework where they practice this concept with the help of the teacher right there. She puts humor and excitement in her videos so the students want to watch them. It is a very exciting process to watch and experience.
We received an outstanding number of nominations for Mrs. Brogdon. It was just clear to see how much the various individuals that nominated her appreciated her. They helped to convey her passion. That was the reoccurring theme, how passionate she is, how caring she is, how often she makes herself available, and that really just jumped off the pages for us.
It really brings a lot of joy back into my teaching and the way that I do things, because teaching math can be such a hard concept for some students. So hearing that they're getting it and hearing that they're enjoying it really puts life back into me to be a teacher.
As part of her award, Brogdon received $1,500 and a personal printer. Congratulations and keep up the outstanding work. Middle school students get creative with a novelist who grew up in Shawnee Mission. Plus, talking statues help teach about American heroes when Spotlight on Shawnee Mission returns. Welcome back. Girl in Reverse was named one of NPR's top books of 2014. Author and Shawnee Mission graduate Barbara Stuber recently returned to her roots at Indian Hills Middle School with a special mission in mind.
My English teacher's name was Miss Garrett. The one cool thing she did was play a Beatles song, and then we got to write a story about the song. Have you guys done anything like that in your creative writing class? I was invited by the librarian here, Hayden Huggins, to teach the two creative writing classes that are electives here at Indian Hills, which I was thrilled to learn. So I get to be with 50 fellow writers in the library today. It's really fun.
Stuber spent some time talking about the writing process and answering these creative writers' questions.
Both the stories that I wrote took about 3 years, maybe a little longer, to write. That sounds awful, doesn't it? Sounds long.
Creative writing is an elective course here at Indian Hills, and so right now we offer it 2 class periods for the semester. So it's great that those students can really take it as something they enjoy, and they don't have to be in here, but they do it because they love it.
She was really good at explaining all this stuff, and I want to write even more than I did before, which is saying a lot for me. I really like writing.
I'm very interested to know what they like to read, what they like to write, how their creative selves are developing, and at this young age being able to not only write but express it in front of other people, have someone hear, this is what I did and I'm sharing it. Takes a lot of guts.
Here's a question. Stuber, who also works as a docent at the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art, says art often inspires her work. She had students try it out with an exercise where they created the story behind a piece of art.
What superhuman abilities do these characters have?
One of the characters had to put the moon in a cage. I don't think I could do that.
I think it shows them it is possible to write, made up words as a 4th grader and then take that into an actual novel. You got to start somewhere, so maybe this could happen for me too.
I think it'd just be mostly anything can inspire you to create an entire world. And I'm going to keep my eyes wide open for anything.
Conflict is often the thing that keeps it interesting. What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
So what is Stuber's best advice for these aspiring writers?
What I would suggest they do is write. Don't be hard on yourself. Just get down your thoughts, keep a journal, a diary, just keep a notebook of ideas you have that don't have to be formed, they don't have to be in any order, and you'll be surprised how much just those pieces can kind of, almost when you're not thinking about it, come together and inspire you towards a story that makes sense.
I really liked it. Now it feels like I could write pretty much anything, and she was nice. She said, keep writing.
Girl in Reverse is Stuber's 2nd novel. Her first is called Crossing the Tracks. Up next, 5th graders help bring some of America's heroes to life.
Hi, I'm Olivia.
And I'm Hadley.
We go to Brookwood Elementary.
We read the book One for the Murphys by Linda Hunt.
In the wake of heartbreaking betrayal, Carly Connors is thrust into foster care and left on the steps of the Murphys, a happy, bustling family.
Carly has thick walls and isn't rattled easily, but when Miss Murphy continues to keep faith in her throughout all of her troubles, Carly begins to let Miss Murphy in.
As Carly stays there longer, she becomes more open as well as friendly. She even gets used to the "here's your lunch, did you finish breakfast?" kind of mom.
But when Carly's mother wants her back, will Carly choose to go back to the dumpster diving life she once knew, or stay with the home-cooked meals life that she knows now?
We rate this book 5 out of 5 stars.
For its amazing character development and how it kept you reading till the very end.
Read it!
Welcome back. Statues come to life in the library of Rushton Elementary, and each American hero had a story to tell.
I'm Amelia Earhart, and I'm an American hero. I was born in Atchison, Kansas on July 24th, 1897. I saw my first airplane at the Iowa State Fair in 1908 when I was 11 years old, and after that I was inspired to fly. I'm an American hero because I am brave, pioneering, and persevering.
The Rushton students in the 5th grade are celebrating the finish of their American Heroes project by giving an oral presentation in the form of a mechanical wax museum. Parents and students can go around touching buttons that all the students are holding, and the student is to give information about their American hero, starting with the name, and then the tricky part is for them to stay in costume and in character. But I think they're doing a great job today.
Hello, I'm Rosa Parks. You probably know me for not getting off the bus, but did you know when I was a kid, when I was 13, I was almost thrown in jail. A kid pushed me, and I pushed him back.
The American Heroes program is an opportunity for the 5th graders to do a research project and learn more about different people in American history who show positive community traits, especially traits such as perseverance, bravery, compassion, things like that are important in today's society.
Hello, my name is Sacagawea, and this is my baby Pomp. I helped Lewis and Clark on their expedition. When I was about 12 years old, I had an Indian tribe named Hidatsu attacked my camp.
I think the Heroes program is a great program for kids to help them learn about history, and I think that making it fun and exciting and allowing them to play a part by being actors and taking over that role makes it a lot more fun, and anything fun's a lot easier to learn, I think.
Hi, I'm Harriet Tubman. I was a very persevering, brave, and compassionate person.
It's a lot of fun. The kids really put a ton of work into the research and the obtaining their costumes and preparing their speeches, and it's a lot of fun. It's a good review for my history as well.
Hi, my name is Christopher Reeve. I was born in 1952 in New York City. I grew up with one brother and 2 sisters. I was interested in acting and sports. By the time I was 7, I was acting in plays.
What's interesting the most is why those specific children have chosen to be those specific characters. Everyone has their different reasons, and I think that everyone has their own definition of hero, and I just find it interesting.
But my first pick was Rosa Parks, but I picked Harriet Tubman second because first I liked how she had guts to do whatever she believed in.
It's a good way to learn history and learn the characters of history, and it's nice that they can each learn something a little different and teach each other. It gives them an opportunity to focus also on what they find interesting, so it keeps them engaged.
Last but obviously not least, I was compassionate. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars and change the world.
Great work, 5th graders. That's all the time we have for this episode of Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. Join us again as we continue to feature the programs and people of Shawnee Mission who are helping guide students to success. Thank you for watching.